Let me go ahead and get it. Now our guest tonight is the present and the future of the game. Did his thing over at Complex before joining Team Durant and getting dubs over there. Team Durant didn't get the dub tonight, but he's getting dubs over there with Team Durant, the crew at 35V and Boardroom. You can catch him kicking knowledge on his sports and culture's new show called More Explanation Needed. Let's get out of pocket. The man, he lives out here in LA, from Dallas originally. Mr. Pierce Simpson. What's going on, legend?
Okay,
Elite.
Where do I send the funds to for that great intro? Like,
I was gonna say,
I pride myself on the intros. That's the one thing. If I'm gonna give you one thing, it's a good intro.
No, that's pretty important. I'm happy to join the show. Real quick, I noticed while I was waiting, like in the green room area, quite the backdrop. I mean, you got the authentic UCLA warm up in the background, and then my dog Zach just got like an Emmy just chilling back there. You know what I'm saying? Like tucked away. Like, that's
it got the Emmy up there and then LeBron on the other side. That's from the good people at the NFL, which is how you and I met originally, long ago. But the good people at the NFL took care of me on that, and got to have something good back there. People are like, yeah, you're doing your show from the bedroom. Like, well, how the hell else am I supposed to do it right now? It is what it is. It is what it is.
I get that.
What you guys, do you enjoy the All-Star game tonight? Can we just start there? Like from a game perspective?
That's a great question. I guess I'll tee it up y'all show first. So
no, please.
No, you are the guest here. We come to hear your opinion, then we offer ours.
It's such a conflicting thing because obviously you can tell the players' minds might have been somewhere else, and I can't really blame them. It's already been like a kind of sped up season. They just got back from the bubble, so everything's kind of condensed. I'm sure they're tired, but the competitors that they turned it on towards the end, so it worked out. But at the same time, I'm like, it felt different than other All-Star games.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. It felt like there was like a barrier basically between, you got like this fake quasi pseudo bubble that obviously do, but it was like, show up like 2 days before knowing that, we're not going to test properly and do all these things. You're just hoping there's not an outbreak. But it's almost like you're having this event in Atlanta and you're telling people in Atlanta to not turn up, which they're going to do anyway. It's not like they haven't been tripping on any pandemic. It hasn't been a pandemic in Atlanta. You know what I mean? For a minute. So they're not tripping. All-star party, everybody turning up, getting it in. You know what I mean? It's like, you're going to send the NBA's best to Atlanta. It felt like some designated survivor type shit, and I was just honestly really nervous.
You saying Georgia been open 24/7. I get it. But also another thing, too, is like, we missing a lot of stars in this game. KD, obviously. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons missing this game. So anytime you lose out on star power like that, is going to kind of affect the quality in the end. So you definitely miss those stars being out there.
No doubt. The NBA or the dunk contest, speaking of lack of stars, love a lot of these young players.
Yeah.
Felt like there was a little bit less draw to it, obviously not being the marquee event on Saturday night. Happens at halftime. Felt like a little bit like AAU the way it was. Everyone's kind of sitting there. Everyone's looks like they're kind of tired and want to just get the game back.
It's like, it got tricky as soon as like Cassius Stanley did this incredible dunk, and then he got like a 44 or something like that. And it was like the lowest score, and I was like, okay, that's how we started things off right now. It was just like a little tricky. But yeah, with the dunk contest, right? I don't know if it'll ever be quite the same as it used to be unless we get stars back in it. And then I understand why they choose not to be in the dunk contest. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, they're not gonna gain much, but then they have a lot to lose by being in these dunk contests, whether they're embarrassed or they lose, whatever the case may be. So, I mean, it's funny to see the 3-point contest kind of be the marquee event now in 2021. But yeah, it's funny how that works.
I mean, I felt like, and I'm not really, I respect New York and I rock with the Nets and the Knicks and fans, whatever. I have my feelings on the city, but I feel like Obi Toppin got robbed. I feel like Cassius Stanley really got robbed off the first dunk and messed up his mental. And I was going to chalk it up to light-skinned hatred, but then I've noticed that Cassius Stanley is not light-skinned. So I was trying to really figure out maybe just old school NBA bitterness. You had Nick up there, Spud Webb, just a lot of old bitter dudes. And to give that a 44, just a message to send to Los Angeles. Honestly, I don't know. Like Spud Webb and Dominique really can't pull up in the city for a little bit because that's how hot I am. A 44? Give the man a 46 at least.
No, that's my favorite thing about LA natives is if like one person from LA is done wrong, then the city feels affected. And I love that passion. You know what I'm saying? I love that. So
it's how we get treated often.
You fighting for your
as an LA native, they give you a lot of runway because I remember Paul Pierce, first Lakers finals, they win. No one in LA was that mad about it, but the second one, there are radio stations calling for restaurants not to let Paul Pierce come into the like proud LA restaurants. Don't let Paul Pierce in. You get some runway as an LA native, but only so much.
Bro, in those times, Paul wasn't showing up to Roscoe's without like 10 security guards. And he's from his own local roster on Manchester. He's not showing up with, at least he has 10 security guards with no disrespect. We rock with Paul. And that's what hurts me the most in all these discussions. Everybody treats him like Celtics Paul, but he's really LA Paul. He's an Inglewood dude. But I want to hit y'all on, want to ask y'all, I know y'all saw the Lil Baby clip. You had this and the Fabulous clip. So who had the worst? Pierce, I know I don't know if you could give us your opinion. I know you live in this space with these dudes. You might have to see them at some point. But who had the worst?
Here's
shot?
my thing. I can't argue against what we saw, like the video. You know, I can have all the respect in the world for Lil Baby, but at the end of the day, I mean, we see in the tape. Lil Baby's was worse because here's why. I feel like Fab's in street clothes, and then he's shooting from, I would say, the 3-point line. I think Lil Baby was at the free throw line.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing I'm questioning with Lil Baby is like his vision. Like, I'm just curious about that because he shot that really hard off the backboard, bro. Like,
the depth perception was janky.
Yeah, like I thought, okay, he got astigmatism like me. Like that's what that is. Contacts. Like that's the depth perception is a little off. That's immediately what I thought because it hit so hard.
So Pierce, you hoop. I've seen you hoop. I know you played against the Ringer and a lot of the like other media people in the like Hollywood League. I personally have no interest in ever playing in one of those celebrity games just because something like that would happen to me. I don't think it would happen to you. I've seen you hoop. Do you want in on one of those games?
Oh, absolutely. But the thing that concerns me is like the competitiveness in me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you can play, but then if you cussing out T-Pain or somebody that's in a celebrity, like, you know, then you look crazy. So that's the downside. I just stick to hooping more competitively here and there and keep it like that. I feel like the celebrity game is kind of light. It's all for entertainment, right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
I got two quick ones for y'all. Two quick ones. Give me best city to have an NBA All-Star game.
It might be the one they had tonight. It might be Atlanta. I'm just gonna be honest.
Honestly,
I'm saying Atlanta, Miami, Vegas. You could go any city.
Can't go wrong.
Vegas, fine. Miami is great. I mean, Miami is great, but Vegas, by virtue of the fact that they don't have a team and it's such a like outsiders come in type city, that would be such a fun weekend in Vegas. A lot of trouble, but.
I mean, Zach, I would agree with you. Like buffet Vegas, like pre-pandemic Vegas, I'm definitely riding, rolling. Obviously, room rates. You're not having situations where women got to stay in U-Hauls and kind of the things we saw happening in Atlanta. But I might rock with Miami just because it's like a less turned up LA. Like everybody acts like South Beach is so cracking, but really it's just like it's like 2 blocks long. Like what are we doing? But I think it would be turned up.
Yeah, it might be 2 blocks long, but you can get a lot done in those 2 blocks. I will say that.
Yeah. It's efficient, high efficiency.
High PER, all that.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, well, then, got to ask you, Zach, I feel like I know your answer, but Pierce, want to hit you. What's the worst city to have an NBA All-Star game?
It might have been the city that was originally playing for this All-Star game, Indianapolis. Yeah.
But don't let them hear that. Don't let them hear that, Pierce. I have had some problems at work. I had to talk to HR for a bit. The people of Indianapolis came for our dear friend LeJethro Jenkins. We did a video on that. I'm gonna say,
I went to Indianapolis last July, June or July, and I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt. I was like, I'm gonna keep an open mind. My uncle lives there, so I want to, there's some good people from Indianapolis. I mean, Mike from there. Like, I want to have an open mind.
Yeah,
bro, that was the longest 36 hours of my life. I have to get out of Indianapolis.
Y'all are not appreciating the nap for his goodness, okay? Everything is centrally located. We got the White Castle, we got Moe's, we got the Oceaneer. Everything is right in the. Now, I used to go out there for combine, so we used to, for me, it was a different experience seeing like Rex Ryan and a bunch of like just fat football coaches just devouring steak and shake. What is that shit? Steak and shake? What's it called?
Steak and shake.
Yes, like 3 in the morning.
I might have got steak and shake while I was out there.
For sure.
I'm going Indy as well. That was we pitched that in that video, and the people were so mad. People would want to shade and fade Cleveland, but I think Cleveland's pretty fun. I've gone and visited there. Indy for sure, and then maybe Salt Lake.
Yeah, I'm
not a lot
going
to
to
do in
Utah.
Salt Lake. They water your drinks down, drink limits. They stop serving at certain hours. There's just not a ton to do. There's probably more to do, but yeah, Indy or Salt Lake.
How can you rock with Utah? I'm just saying, like, it's not cracking. They're gonna poison your pizza if you're getting too many buckets. It's not turned. I mean, I would say Cleveland, but I got a little bit more respect for Cleveland. Shout out to Kobe. I'm not going, he's a legend. So, but but let's get to the most important news of the day.
Yeah.
Blake Griffin, Brooklyn Nets, KD out here really getting his GM on for 36-year-old LeBron, putting the Avengers plus KD or plus Blake Griffin now. Pierce, you saw the news. You had a tweet about it. What did you think about Blake Griffin headed over to the Nets?
It's exciting. I think you put him in that lineup where you can kind of play. It's like the perfect small ball by putting him at the 5, KD at the 4. You got Joe Harris on the wing and Kyrie and James in the backcourt just doing their thing. I think it's impressive. Also, anytime that you have all those years left on your contract and you're still able to get out of it while keeping most of your money and go to a contender.
Long the Blake.
That's a win. But I also kind of want to dispel this notion that I'm seeing on Twitter often. And I love LeBron. I fuck with LeBron. But I do think we get a little short-sighted in thinking that the Nets are just constructing this team out east simply to beat LeBron. I think the Nets are just putting a team together that makes sense, in my opinion.
That's right.
And of course, I'm gonna sound like a homer, but I'm just keeping it 100.
No, it's a great point. I'm most happy for Blake Griffin, the entertainer. This is a man who is building a really cool business and brand out here in LA and gets shipped off to have to go. You can't do Funny or Die videos from Little Caesars Arena. Detroit's a fine city, but this man went from dating a Jenner and then now he's all of a sudden, in Detroit. So I'm just happy. Like, Blake is a superstar type guy. Put him in a big city again that's kind of got that entertainment stuff. I honestly thought he'd come and play for the Lakers for sure. I don't know how the Clippers had the audacity to think they were even in the running for this. Like, what type of, Blake is a very proud dude and holds a grudge. I played volleyball with Blake once and a guy called him for hitting the net. Mm-hmm. And after the game, now the game goes for like an hour. After the game, the guy walks up to give Blake a high five and Blake walked away from him. So there is no way Blake is going back to the Clippers. So
hey, I'm not mad at that. I respect it. If you're gonna hold a grudge, hold it all the way. And you thought people from Indianapolis was after you. Wait till the ones from Detroit come after you for saying what you said. Okay, all right, yeah.
Blake, you can tell once Blake got traded, he did not give a shit. And honestly, I don't blame him. No disrespect to Detroit, but you're going from LA, you're getting your Funny or Die cracking, your stand-up career, you're getting your production company moving and shaking. Then they ship you to Detroit. He looks like he really hasn't tried.
It was like, and sorry to cut you off, but how they did him to send him to Detroit. For sure. You know what I'm saying? Especially after they wined and dined him, showed like the mock jersey retirement into the rafters. And then not even 4 years later, they was like, all right, fam, it's been real. And they just shipped him off. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
Straight boot. You saw how salty he was when he came back. He wouldn't dap up Steve Ballmer. And, I know. I wouldn't no dap. You get no dap, Steve. Zach, you're right. If he's not dapping dude from the net, I'm not dapping the dude who shipped me out and shipped me to the D. Like, come on, it's lonely in the D. We all know that. Like, what are we doing? But I think this squad, I think Blake's gonna surprise some people. A lot of people don't realize when you get to move to like a good team, it really changes your whole aura and your energy. You're out in Brooklyn now, you can get it cracking. You go to the strip club with Harden, you could go get some spiritualness with Kyrie, you could go chill with KD and hit the hookah or whatever's going on, but you're not in Detroit anymore and win a ring.
Yeah, for sure. And then it's like all that great talent that's on that team is only going to elevate your level of play. You know what I'm saying? And like I mentioned earlier, it's no telling what Blake. We're going to see 2011 Blake Griffin pop up.
I hope, man. Just putting people on posters. I hope so.
So I want to hit y'all real quick. We had, the big news that broke All-Star game related was that Embiid and Simmons were cut from the game for obviously some contact tracing issues with their barber. Somebody had the Rona or whatever. Now, when y'all heard that news this morning, was there some concern that maybe this might have impacted just the game or just kind of, the Sixers or just, like I said, we brought the greatest players that the NBA has to offer, brought them all to Atlanta, and we were this close if those dudes would have, a couple hours later found out, like how big of a concern should that have been for the NBA?
I think a huge concern because it kind of showed how flawed the idea was of trying to have an all-star game in the middle of a pandemic, even though we're kind of on the tail end of it. But at the same time, I do have to applaud the NBA in the same breath for being on top of things to be able to catch the fact that I guess their barber had COVID and they were able to contact trace and get them out the game. So on one hand, I get the diligence in which they acted to make sure that nobody else was exposed. But at the same time, too, this is the risk you run by having an all-star game during this time.
It's tough. I didn't think it would get canceled because we'd made it this far, and there were so many things along the way where it's like, you probably cancel it. Like, there's no need to move these guys into a city where it's, everyone's going to be wanting to kind of get after it. It's a shame because I was really excited to watch these guys in the All-Star game, and I think the team that was assembled was going to be really fun if those guys were there. And you feel for both of them. It's a wonderful opportunity. It's a career kind of benchmark thing. They'll both have more opportunities, I'm sure. But it's a special thing, and it's a shame that he did it.
Do we think they're really mad though? If safe, I want them to be safe and sound.
Yeah.
But a part of me feels like, we can rest, like we can chill out, like what I'm saying.
That lineup was worth it. That lineup was definitely worth it to not have to play. Go home. I don't need to be here.
Fresh
some Magic City wings for a little.
I hope Devin Booker's okay. But from the moment they're like, Devin Booker's going to be an all-star fill-in, and I was like, the fuck he is. This is a man who has an amazing girlfriend that he would way rather go hang out with than be like 8th guy off the bench. And, there's just how you told it last year where there's the rules. You pass it up if you're the new guy at the all-star game. So
you know what I'm noticing? This is the second Kendall Jenner reference so far this episode. So my God,
Kendall liked Zach's tweet, and I think that was really groundbreaking. It was a few weeks ago.
He's locked in. He's locked
in. Coachella tweet, if I'm not mistaken.
It was. I have nothing to say.
So, thinking about barbers and haircuts got my mind churning. What was the worst haircut that you ever got?
Great question. What was the worst haircut?
I can go. I had this.
Give me one.
I had this one ready. I'll let Pierce get ready. I had to go for the NFL. I'll go do stuff for Pro Bowl. So I was flying out there, and I went and the person that was cutting my hair had moved, so I went to my friend's person, and she did it. And I remember she cut my hair, like basically buzzed all this, and then just left this part, so it looked like a visor. It looked, it looked like a visor, and I just felt awful trying to talk to NFL players looking like an idiot, and so that was very tough, and it's all right though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a chicken out on this one because, how black men are with our haircuts. I don't know if I've ever gotten one where I'm like, "Yo, what the hell are you doing? Like, what's going on?"
I feel you. It's all good.
6 or so, but lucky enough, I haven't had too many bad experiences. Knock on wood.
So my worst experience, mid '90s. Stephon Marbury was the rage. Stephon had the sweet little part going down the middle of his dome. So I tried to be my own barber and try to give myself to Stephon Marbury, but kept fucking up the line and kept pushing it back to the point where it was just super janky. Then the hair started to fill in, and it didn't really. It was so. And then my mom gave me a bowl cut one time when I was like 8. And I never forgave her for that. That was my other one. Never forgave her.
I have one more. When I was the manager for the ASU basketball team, I was like, I don't know where to go get my haircut here. So I went to the Supercuts right near campus. And I showed, the head shake is totally valid. No Show up at practice, every player. The fuck do they do? They put the line up back here way up. And they keep swiping the back of my head. They're like, the fuck did they do to your hair? Oh, it's brutal. So yeah, that's tough.
When you have a group of homies that yell from a distance to say how bad your haircut is, shit is tough. Nah, listen, that is tough. Like I tell you, no haircut's better than a bad haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta ask you guys. You guys, WandaVision fans? You've been watching the show at all?
I have not.
So I mean, we're gonna hit the topic very quickly, but I'm sure you've seen the Vishon memes that have been hitting the internet.
Yeah.
And dominating Twitter. And I watched it, I binged through it, and just kudos. Really, this is even a WandaVision tweet. This is more a kudos to Twitter, really mainly Black Twitter, for really going out there, just leveling up. I mean, I've seen like 15 different versions of the tweet with the cap and everything like that, the do-rag and the chain and the Gucci. But really, I wanted to ask Pierce. I want to ask you first. Yeah. What would Twitter be without Black Twitter?
It wouldn't be a thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It wouldn't be a thing. I think the thing that Twitter has showed me is that there's so much creativity and so much genius behind people and the way they operate and the way they think. And it made me think about going back to school, because when you're in class, a lot of times, some people who are just making jokes all the time, you know, the teacher would just send them out into the hallway. But I'm thinking to myself, these are the same people that are making these memes on Twitter and making these jokes. And they're obviously very intelligent and very smart. And so it just taught me that maybe, you know, we need to change the way we learn and change the way we teach things, because obviously there's some geniuses out there with social media.
Yeah, most definitely.
As that kid with a ton of ADD in class that was just like, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, and then would say it.
It's the one that makes the people laugh, and then
and then you know, now those are just on Twitter and
exactly.
do great.
Doing his thing, going crazy, or doing her thing. Yeah, exactly.
Once I saw how much money people were making off Black Twitter, it really made me realize, like, damn, well, maybe the people that are creating this shit can go ahead and get a bag too, because these numbers. I mean, literally, Black Twitter has made more hitters out of things that nobody gave a shit about. You know, I'm thinking like Bird Box and movies like that. Like Black Twitter took Bird Box to a whole nother level. So even if you haven't seen the movie, you've seen the movie by the amount of memes and tweets and all that type of shit that goes on with it. So I think, you know, there's not one central figure of Black Twitter, but if there was, they should get a statue. So maybe we just make that. I don't even know. We got to pick somebody. Like,
sure. If you notice, it's like even certain content is catered towards the commentary that will come out of Black Twitter. You know what I'm saying? It's trying to tell how it's curated and how it's made. So. That's just been that's been the greatest thing of like this decade plus. It's just the advent of that and just seeing how many people are witty on social media and how funny they are. So I'm laughing every night. My bookmarks is just like just stuff like that. So I'm with it.
Most def. So Coming to America 2 came out. I don't know if you got a chance to see it yet, but you know, that just reminded me, you know, that movie, whenever that movie comes on, you know, I have to watch it from start to finish. I watched the TV version, whatever, but I want to ask you first, what's your favorite sequel for any movie that you've seen? Because it's hard sometimes to come with that sequel that's a hitter.
Great one.
God, I can get this one if you want.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I guess it'd be like what, like Godfather or Star Wars. So many of them mess up. You know what I mean? But it's like I remember I was so excited for Anchorman 2, and it was awful. I was so excited for The Hangover 2, and it was not good. It's so hard to hit that second one, especially as comedy. So it's got to be like a drama for me.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna go. Okay, the classics is like Godfather 2 and Terminator 2, incredible sequels. But maybe my personal favorite sequel is Bad Boys 2.
That's a good one. That's a very good one.
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I'm feeling all that. I got to go with Godfather 2 just for me because I'm a big film guy. But Karate Kid 2 also, you know, introduced some new things. You know, the visuals, the cinematography definitely was rolling. It's been a big storyline on Cobra Kai. But did somebody say he said 22 jumps?
Next Friday, that's in there. And appreciate Andy in there. A lot of Next Friday votes on this one.
Next Friday is good. But I think Friday after next is better than next Friday. So that's tough.
It's a tough game. It's a tough game we got to play with the Friday.
Sure.
And then last topic, man, we appreciate you for coming through and really rocking with us, Pierce. But it's National Cereal Day today, so I want to know, what's your favorite cereal?
All right, so I'm a pretty big cereal connoisseur. So my cereal breaks down on my mood. You know what I'm saying? Like,
damn, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. Because I eat cereal after like dinner sometimes. It's just kind of how I am. I've been like that since I was a kid. So like if I'm in a dessert vibe, I'm gonna go with Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? It's solid. Now my go-to, like if I just want to just keep it consistent, is Honey Nut Cheerios.
Okay.
Now if I'm feeling really wild and just want to say fuck it, I'm going Lucky Charms. But that's like once in a blue moon. That's like, yo, what's
real
going
dessert.
Yeah, you got to ask me if something's going on in my life if I'm eating Lucky Charms. Like, yeah, just pull me to the side when I get done. Be like, you good, fam? What's up?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Zach, I know you're not a fan of Lucky Charms.
No, I think Lucky Charms are so bad. Because I always wanted them to be amazing, and I like marshmallows, so it's always like I just don't like those marshmallows. And for me, is Reese's Puffs are that cereal that are your Lucky Charms. Where it's like if I have a box of Reese's Puffs, something is not going super well for me that week, and it's a real comfort thing. My grandma used to buy it when we'd go stay at their house as like a fun thing for my brother and I, and we fucking loved it. But the kind of like standard one, I always loved Captain Crunch and always loved Frosted Flakes. Those are kind of the two that were really standard.
Crunch Berries are undefeated, so I'm
Crunch Berries as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was a big Cocoa Puffs kid growing up, but my mom had like Golden Smacks and random shit too. But definitely, Pierce, to your point, the Cheerios. But I used to go Cheerios with actual honey on it. I didn't rock with the honey nut as much. I'd make my own honey Cheerios. That's still something I do now if I'm in dessert mode, depending on if I partake in any recreational activities. I'm still gonna give you the bowl of the honey, the bowl of the Cheerios with the honey all and the greatest amount of honey. But I want to hear, so y'all say the cereals y'all fuck with. Name a cereal that you don't mess with.
Ooh, I'm gonna go. Mine, it might piss a lot of people off. Okay?
Do it. Tell them.
Please get Fruity Pebbles all the way out of here. All the way out. I don't understand it. The texture, the consistency is not it. You got about 4 minutes to enjoy that cereal before it's just soggy. It's just, what's the point? What is the point? What is the point?
Anything besides Lucky Charms? Who else? Who else is getting your hand?
God, Lucky Charms bad. Those are the Lucky Charms, the main one, I like always wanted it to be good, but the non-marshmallow part I thought was trash. I thought the marshmallows were bad, so that was kind of the tough thing for me. And I'm a big chocolate person, so it was always sort of like, if I'm gonna do that, I'd rather do Cocoa Puffs, Reese's Puffs, one of those kind of things.
So, are you a Cookie Crisp guy at all?
No, I also said before the show that I hated Cookie Crisp too. I don't know why.
I wasn't allowed to eat those. I used to dream of eating them as a kid. I think one time I remember because we were at my dad's former teammate Richard Washington at UCLA. We were at his crib in Oregon, and they had Cookie Crisp, and I got to eat a bowl of it, and it was the greatest experience of my life. My mom was a hater.
Yeah, I need the story on why you couldn't eat Cookie Crisp, but we'll get that another time.
Because they looked like cookies for some reason. She thought it was like it was like a dessert.
It is. She's not wrong. The other one was.
She's absolutely right. Yeah, she's not wrong.
Yeah.
Really right.
The other one, this is like a very like, my mom was being very healthy, was like the Kashi Go Lean. I don't know if you ever had that. It was like eating a bowl of drywall in the morning. Like just no amount of milk, no amount of anything was going to change your day. Tough. So
yeah, it's like eating those frosted mini wheats. Like they're good. But then after a while, you're like, I can't. This is
oh my god.
Yeah, it's too much.
Well, shit, Pierce, appreciate you, man, for coming through. Legend.
Thank you.
Y'all make sure y'all follow Pierce at Pierce Simpson. Check out the show, More Explanation Needed on Boardroom. You've been really kicking out and doing your thing, man. So, any last words you want to say to the people before we sign off?
Hey, man, keep doing your thing. I'm just I'm honored to be on the show. Love what each one of you do. I mean, obviously. And keep slandering Indianapolis whenever you get a chance to. And,
they're going to find this. They're going to find this, and they're going to be like, we got to get them. Oh, bro.
I'm rolling with Indianapolis. I just want to reiterate that. Show me love when I'm in the city. Show me love when I'm in the city.
Someone's going to tag Pat McAfee in this, and it's going to just ruin my day all over again.
Zach, any final thoughts?
No, Pierce, appreciate you coming on, man. It's been awesome. Pierce and I have known each other for years. So it's awesome to get to do this with you. Appreciate it.
And likewise, I'm honored.
All right. Everybody stay safe, strap up. We got a second half of NBA season coming up with Lakers championship on the horizon. Strap up, wear your mask. Get your vaccine. Pick a vaccine. Anyone. Vaccine Waters is what I call it. That's my nickname for it. Pick one. Get it.